we continue with the next presenter, Ibu Dania Eridani from Diponegoro University. Please. Thank you, Pak Tri, for the presentation.
Yeah, good afternoon, Bu Tri.
Good afternoon.
My name is Dania Eridani. I'm from Department of Computer Engineering Diponegoro University. And today I would like to present about my research here is about Occupational Health and Safety Management System in Engineering Faculty of Diponegoro University using Scrum model. For today's agenda, I divided into 4 parts. The first is introduction, method, the sudden discussion, and then continue with conclusion. So here's at the first, we found that there is an accidents in every workplace. We can find it around us. 80 until 90% of it is come because the behavior or act, and 10 until 20% is because of the condition. And then here, as the background of the research, the first is about the safety in the workplace. We know that safety has become the important issue that must be considered. As we know that if we realize about the safety in the workplace, we can make a prevention concept to reduce the risk from varieties of hazard or a threat that possibly coming to the workplace. And then we know that there is an international standard is ISO 45001. It's an international standard provide framework to manage the occupational health and safety issue in the organization. And in Diponegoro University, especially in Faculty of the Engineering, we already implement this international standard. And here we know that we need to perform safety in the workplace. And we can do the hazard identification, risk assessment, and risk control or HRIC modeling to check and prevent all of the hazard and possibly threat that can be happen. In here, we know that campus is also a workplace because there is also a variety place that can make the threat that can possibly happen. Especially in laboratory, we know that there is a concern that we need to pay attention here. That's why here there is also a standard that implement to prevent all of that hazard and threat. Based on that background, here our team we like to share about our research here. We made a management system using a Scrum model here. The method we use is Scrum model, which consists of backlog, sprint planning, sprint backlog, sprint, and daily Scrum meeting here is to bridge the standard that implement in the faculty engineering by a system. So here we made a management system that can use for the safety team in the faculty of engineering in daily routine. So the first is by the client meeting. We found that there is a routine inspection that done between the safety team in faculty engineering. There is also a tools inspection that done regularly, and then there is a safety meeting, and then there is also program safety training, safety around safety drill. From the client meeting, we know what's the safety team in faculty engineering done in daily routine. From the meeting, here we made the product backlog and sprint backlog. So based on the conversation, based on the interview, we try to bridge what they want into our feature list. Like for the first here, we know that the client here is the safety team from the faculty engineering. They stated that they want an application that can report that incident happened using the application. When they can report accident happen in near the campus by the application, they want that they don't need to report a manual report, so they can use the application to directly fill the incident that happened in the area. So here we made the acceptance criteria based on the user story given by the client. Like, oh, so that here we found there is several user here. So we can first check there is a login using account into the system. And then to process the report of the incident, we can click the incident report menu here, and then we have to fill out the incident report data. And then we cannot continue the process before filling all of the details, and then we can save the final report. There is a lot of user stories that bridge into several criteria here. After the bridging process, here we made the product backlog. So after the interview in client meeting and then the user story, the bridging process, we can meet the list what's the product backlog that we will do to develop the management system here. Like, so first after user story that they want that they have an easiness to do the incident report. Here we made one of our product backlog is report incident. After we try to mapping the user story into product backlog here, we make the detailed plan in sprint backlog here, what we need to do in those features. So this is one example in the process of product backlog and sprint backlog. After we got the user story here, we got the list in report incident, and then we got the detail in sprint backlog, like, oh, we need to make incident data field, we make to make incident cause, which list on the button like that, and then what the criteria that need to develop the feature. After we've got the sprint backlog here, so the product owner, Scrum Master, and the development team doing the daily development routine. So we have a daily Scrum meeting here, which we use to sharing the problem after spreading the sprint backlog into the development team. So every day we have a daily Scrum meeting to check what's the problem and how to solve the problem. And then we try to pack it to the checklist in sprint backlog to check whether all the features that we needed to develop the system is already clear. So after we finish all the sprint backlog here, the team proposed the test case based on the client meetings. So we've got the list from the client story, and then from the client story, we make the test case. So this is the first one example of the test scenario here. The first is we try to check the employee begin with valid data. So after we got a several list in sprint backlog, we make a scenario, and then we make the detail to do in those test scenario. Like this is the test step. The first is opening the app and then entering username, entering the password, click login, and then we have the expected result here. And then the user will check whether the result is show as the expected result that's stated here, and then we can check whether it is passed or not. And this is after the test case, we can deliver the final product into our client here, the Safety Management in Faculty Engineering Diponegoro University. And that we got from developing, this is the discussion that we've got from developing the management system application here. Based on the test case, the system is built as what the clients want. So we check based on the test scenario given, what they need to do on the test case, and then we have the checklist whether the test is passed or not. All the features already been developed as the clients want. And then based on the process here, we've got that the Scrum daily meeting is a very important step that must be done, because especially we develop this management system in group, but we do it individually because of the COVID-19. We cannot meet directly very often here. So the daily Scrum meeting here is make the problem that occur in every task in developing the feature is can be solved here. And then the bridging process from the user story into the product backlog hold the important key. So the product owner must be sure in bridging the what's the users want here to make a detailed product backlog, so that the team doesn't miss any single feature that must be developed. And then here, the Scrum team doesn't need to bother with the documentation. So we only need to build the manual book here. And then in using Scrum, each change can be made without having to go back in order as in traditional software development process. So in the process in developing this system, there is several changes from the client. By using the Scrum model, we don't need to back into the first step of the method here, but we can in Agile, we can meet the change without having to go back in every step. So we can make in the sprint itself. And then the team using the checklist to the data sprint in checking the process instead of the burden check. So in our process here, we don't use the burden check, but we only use the checklist to make sure that every feature that wants to be developed is clear. So this is the conclusion. The test case showed that all the features meet the client's expectation, meets the client's need. And the Scrum is very suitable here because we have a 12 department here to manage the safety issue in the area. Scrum is very suitable in developing this project. But here, our team needs to do a further work here. So we just finished developing the system, but we haven't checked whether the implementation of the system make a better result for the team, for the safety team in the engineering faculty. And we haven't checked about the implication after this system is implemented in the real environment. That's all that I can present to all of you, and I'm open for any question and suggestion. Thank you.
Thank you, Bu Dania. We have a question from Pak Eka Prayudha here. Bu Dania, instead of reach after the incident happened, what's your opinion of developing the prevention monitoring system? Thank you.
What's your opinion of the book? Okay. So after the incident happened, here, the management system here provide tools that can report directly about the criteria of that incident. What is the incident? Like where is who is the who had the accident, and then where is the location and what the cause of the incident. But before that, in the system, we also have high rank. So we already we already mapped the hazard, the threat that possibly happen. So it can be checked through every user academia that using the system. So it actually can prevent the accident. But if the accident happen here, we can directly open the application through the web and or by mobile phone, and then we can report the incident, or we have emergency number to call who can solve the problem. Like, do we need to call hospital, or do we need only to call the safety management team in the campus, something like that.
Okay, thank you, Bu Dania.